Welcome everyone. In this lecture, we are going to see the integrator circuit. That is, we are designing an integrator with the help of operational amplifier as an active device. So, see in the circuit, we have provided the input voltage V in through resistor R1, and there is one of the feedback capacitor which is converted in the feedback network. Okay. The output waveforms of the integrator has been also we have given here. This is the input signal and respective output waveforms of the integrator, where how we can define an integrator is the integrator is a circuit in which output voltage waveform is the integral of the input voltage waveform, and thus as output is integral of the input, the circuit is called as an integrator or integration amplifier. So such circuits we have obtained here with the help of an inverting configuration, and with the feedback resistor of inverting we have replaced with the feedback capacitor CF. So for that we want the output voltage must be the integral of input signal. We want to derive this equation. So for finding out the output voltage equation, the output voltage equation can be found by writing the KCL equation at the input node, that is at V2. When we are writing KCL at this node, we got the some current relations, like see that at node V2 there are two currents. One is the input current I1 and another is at node V2 IB and IF are the two outgoing currents. So we know that as the input resistance of op amp is very high, this IB1 and IB2 currents are approximately 0, so that we are neglecting these currents. So when we are writing the output voltage expression, we want here expression for the output voltage, and that V0 can be obtained by that we want to write the KCL obtained by writing KCL at node V2. Okay, so when we are writing KCL at this node, the equation we can write as I1 is the incoming current is equal to 2 outgoing current. One is IB2 plus another is IF. We know that IB1 is equal to IB2. In some cases we can simply write this one as IB also. So we know that here IB is the negligible current because of very high input resistance, negligible current, and which is very small. So when we are neglecting this, we can write I1 is approximately is equal to IF. Okay, when we are denoting this one as equation 1 and this is as equation 2. We have to recall here the capacitor relations, that is current through the capacitor and voltage across the capacitor. With current relation and voltage across the capacitor, we can define that current through the capacitor is defined as current through capacitor IC. IC is how we have defined is we can define this one as C into d by dt of voltage across capacitor. Okay, so this is the relation between the current through and voltage across the capacitor. Okay, when we are denoting this one as equation number 3. Now why we are writing the current equation for capacitor is, as we see this into this diagram, that IF is the current through the capacitor CF. So this is nothing but the current through capacitor. You can also write this one as IC. Okay, so that we have written the current relation equation IC is equal to. Therefore, when we are representing current equations For I1 is the current through resistor R1. How we can write this is as voltage at one point of resistor R1 minus voltage at another point is V2 divided by R1 is current I1 is equal to, for this capacitor current IC, this is defined as C into d by dt of Vc, as C is nothing but feedback capacitor, d by dt, and Vc is voltage across capacitor. So this voltage is nothing but voltage at this point minus voltage at this point. Vc is nothing but V2 minus V0. Okay. Now we got the relation of current in terms of voltage. So that we want to solve for here output voltage equation. Okay. So when we are writing, we know that here by the ideally differential input voltage is equal to 0 and VID is nothing but V1 minus V2. So if it is equal to 0, V1 is equal to V2 is equal to 0, right? We know that why we are writing V1 is equal to V2, up to this point it's okay, but see into the diagram that what is the value of V1. V1 is nothing but voltage into the non-inverting input terminal, and here value of V1 is equal to 0, so that we are representing V1 is equal to V2 is equal to 0, and we are going to substitute this relation into this equation. So if this is my equation 4, now substitute V2 is equal to 0 in above equation. We can write here as V in by R1 is equal to CF into d by dt of minus V0, right? So we are now going to find out the output voltage equation here. So now we got V in by R1 is equal to CF into d by dt of minus V0. The output voltage we want to find out, so that now we are integrating on both sides with respect to time. So integrating for this equation on both sides with respect to time. Now what should be the equation after integrating on both sides? The equation will be integration 0 to t V in by R1 into dt is equal to integration 0 to t CF into d by dt of minus V0 into dt. Okay. So we know that integration and d by dt will eliminate each other. Therefore, now we can write this equation for output. So if these two, integrator and differentiator, will cancel out each other, what is remaining is CF into minus V0. So rearranging for output voltage is minus, this R1 is again constant and CF is also constant, take it outside, 1 divided by R1 into CF, as V0 we are putting at one side, CF will come to here and which will come to the denominator. Integration 0 to t Vn into dt plus C. Okay. So that what is output voltage? Output voltage is integral of input signal Vin into dt. Okay. So this is the output voltage equation we got here. Output voltage is integral of input signal Vin into dt plus C. In this, C is the integration constant, and therefore the output voltage is proportional to the value, or which is this constant C is proportional to the output voltage value V0 at time t is equal to 0 second. Now this equation will indicate that, make this one as equation number 5, and which is the required output voltage equation. what this equation will indicate? This indicates the output voltage is directly proportional to the negative integral of input voltage and inversely proportional to the time constant R1 and Cf. Okay, so if we consider here the input output waveforms, that is, for example, the input is a sine wave. Here we can see that my input signal is a sine wave, its output will be a cosine wave, and if input is a square wave, output is a triangular wave. Output we got here is the triangular wave. Also note that these waveforms that we have drawn in assumption with R1 Cf time constant, that is R1 into Cf time constant is equal to 1 second, and depending on this we have drawn this. Also we assume that total output offset voltage is equal to 0 and constant C is also is equal to 0. Further, for this integrator, when we make this input voltage, this Vin is equal to 0, what happens is, because of the output offset voltage, when Vin is equal to 0, this circuit will goes into an open loop configuration, and because of the output offset voltage and offset current, that capacitor will get charged, and this will give us the error voltage at the output. So this will happen when input signal voltage is equal to 0. So practically, when we want to reduce this error or input voltage and part of the current, we said that this would make the output of op amp will be produce some of the error voltage. So to reduce the error voltage at the output of the integrator, here what we did is, we will in practical, we have connected one of the feedback resistor in parallel with Cf. Okay, so practical integrator will have a feedback resistor Rf, which is in parallel with the feedback capacitor Cf, and this Rf is connected across this Cf such that Rf will limit the low frequency. This is Rf. This will limit the low frequency gain, and hence it will also minimizes the variation into the output voltage. Now for this circuit we have to find out for the frequency response of the basic integrator circuit, that how its frequency response will be going to vary according to the values of R1 and Cf. First we will plot its frequency response, and then we'll discuss about the frequency response it. So frequency response is nothing but a plot of gain versus frequency. Okay, so we'll first draw the frequency versus gain plot. So initially we will draw it. So near about gain will be 100 here, 60, then 40, sorry 80, 60, and here about 40 gain will be at this point, 20 and 0. For frequencies we are determining this one as FA, and this is the FB frequency. F So this dotted line is the ideal response of practical integrator, and this is the basic integrator response, and this solid line pink color is the actual response of practical integrator. Okay, this is the relative frequency in hertz. Here is the gain. In dB we are representing. Okay, so somewhat 10 times f, then 10 raised to 2f, 10 raised to 3f, somewhere 10 raised to 4f. Here is actually this scale is, here we got 10 raised to 3f and make adjusted this scale like here 10 raised to f2, and this is very far large frequency 10 raised to 5f, which is fb. Okay, now for this is the practical response, and where the gain for this part of the frequency response is rf by r1 dB, and after that, after this frequency fa, gain will be decreasing at some constant rate. Okay, some frequency will be we have to make proper scale here. Here is 10f, near about here is 10 raised to 2f, and here is 10 raised to 3f. This is 10 raised to 4 and 10 raised to 5f. Okay, now we'll see that what happens to the values of r1cf and what is the relation between frequency fa, that we will highlight fa, f and fb frequencies. Okay, so in this figure, as we have seen the frequency response, fb is the frequency at which the gain is 0 dB. We can find that at this point fb is the frequency when my gain will become is equal to 0 dB, so that we can write fb is equal to 1 upon 2 pi r1cf. Okay, make this one as equation number 6. And for both the stability and the low roll off problems can be correlated by addition of the register, that is feedback register, as already we have added into the practical integrator, which will provide the stability and low frequency roll off problems also be reduced. Okay, the frequency response of this integrator that we have shown that this is the ideal response will be given by the dash line. F is the relative frequency, and for frequencies f to fa, it is the gain, and that gain is rf by r1. After fa frequency, gain will be decreasing, and that will be decreasing and at some constant rate, and that is minus 20 dB per decade. Means increase in frequency by 10 times, means at for example at this frequency fa, frequency is equal to 1 kilohertz. If there is increase in 10 times, means 10 at 10 kilohertz gain will be reduced by 20 dB. Okay, in this way this gain will be reducing at a rate of 20 dB per decade, or in other words we can also relate these two frequencies fa and fb, that fa and fb are the frequencies such that what we can say here is fb is fa is the gain limiting frequency, fa is gain limiting frequency, as after this frequency gain will start decreasing, gain limiting frequency, and this will be given as fa will be given as 1 upon 2 pi rf cf. Okay, the value of this fa and in turn r1cf and rfcf, that we have to be selected such that always fa should be less than fb, because at fb your gain is equal to 0 dB, and fa after that your this is can be also called as cutoff frequency. After that gain will start decreasing, and we have to select these frequencies such that the relation is fa is equal to fb by 10. Okay, it means that FB is 10 times greater than FA. So if we are selecting frequency like this, there may be relation in RF and R1 also, that is the gain. We have selected FA is equal to FB by 10, so that RF we can define as is equal to 10 times of R1. Okay, so in this way we can go for the selection of frequencies. In fact, we can say here that the input signal will be integrated properly if the time constants, that time constants are nothing but R1CF and RFCF. Time constant or time period T of the signal is larger than or equal to RFCF. That is, T must be greater than or equal to RFCF, where we can see that RFCF is equal to 1 upon 2 pi. What is that? Here from this we can find out RFCF is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FA. Okay. So the integrator is most commonly used in analog computers and in analog to digital converter circuits, and also for many of the wave shaping circuits where its output is integral of the input signal. So we can make this one as equation number 7 and this is equation number 8. Okay, so from this we have to remember some of the points, that the integrator is the circuit in which output signal is the integral of the input signal, and that is output is integral of the input signal. So we can see into the waveform, output is the integral of input in both the cases, and where we have to select the time constant from frequency response, we can find that this is FA is the gain limiting frequency, FB is the 0 dB frequency at which gain is equal to 0 dB. So that FB is 1 upon 2 pi R1CF and FA is 1 upon 2 pi RFCF. We have to select FA should be always less than FB. So FB is 10 times greater than FA. So the feedback resistor and R1 are related, like RF is 10 times of R1. And time constant should be selected greater than RFCF, time period should be greater than RFCF. So here between these two frequencies FA and FB only circuit will act as an integrator. Okay, so where your circuit will act as an integrator, between the frequency FA and FB circuit will act as an integrator, and we have to select RFCF is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FA. Okay, so in this lecture we will conclude here with the integrator. In next lecture we will see the differentiator circuit. Thank you.